Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. It is your favorite Goth country girl in training, the dorky, unfiltered Latina, and of course, your favorite dimple top mess here. And before we get started on today's book review, please like, comment down below, and subscribe and ring that bell for notifications. All right, so today's book review is going to be Haunting Adeline by H.D. Carlton. And everyone, before we get started, there is spoilers and talk about sexual content. Haunting Adeline, like Skeleton King, is a dark romance book, including and not limited to these triggers: non consensual sex, SA, um, non living people, pedophilia, and gun usage. That being said, if you want to review these triggers, I recommend the author's website and yeah, definitely look in the description to see what other trigger warnings they are also listed there. That being said, please let me know if you have read Haunting Adeline. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. If you'd like to know more about me, please follow my Instagram at dimpletopmess. That being said, see what I did there? Zade fucking Meadows. This man could roughly fuck me any day. I'm not gonna lie. So, quick backstory. I've been wanting this book since January of this year, but no library had it, and thrift books was constantly out of it. I would go to thrift stores, hopefully find books. I could not find them on like thrift bookie websites or anything like that. So you all could call me some thirsty hoes, but there is no way I couldn't find it for a very long time. And I usually don't condone any act of supporting felony behavior, but damn it, he is the morally gray man we want. Why? One, communicative. Quote, "Will you be my last meal, baby?" End quote. Two, honest with his intentions from the start. Quote, "When you make someone fall in love with the darkest parts of you, there's nothing you can do that will scare them away. They will be yours forever because they already love all the fucked up bits and pieces of you." End quote. Three, direct with a whole jar of possessiveness mixed in. Quote, "But I'm not going to apologize for what I did. Had I left you and Archie alone, you would have been hurt and traumatized, and I would have ended up killing him anyway. If I hadn't killed him for touching what's mine, I would have for hurting you instead. Archie's fate was sealed the moment he led you up those stairs." End quote. That being said, this is probably a mute point or not, but the amount of alcohol in this book, like, Little Miss, I have a flat stomach, okay, and no exercise portrayed whatsoever. It's giving 365 days energy, main character energy. Just meh. But what do I expect? Nothing new, nothing changes, unfortunately, in the pursuit of typical characters. Like, yes, I win the lottery every time I try. Oh, what it must be like to be drinking almost every night and be so into grills and and bars to do my writing. Blah, blah. I was thinking about this other day, but Addie just reminds me of Bella Swan, just more self-aware and reckless. Honestly, I for sure thought that there was going to be a whole orgy scene or something of the sort when Archie and Max and the twins were introduced at the club. I could honestly say I was terrified for this hoe. One, she's already trying to be marked territory by her stalker. Two, girl, he's a red flag, but these guys at the bar were red banners. I cannot be the only one who thought she was Bella Swan energy. Think about her behavior in New Moon. In it, Bella knows she could only see Edward when she was super reckless, and that motorcycle scene was a bunch of strangers. Yeah, now Miss Addie just wants to loosen up and be, in her charge of her life. I can't blame her. But these guys gave such dark energy. I was like, oh my god, if it wasn't for Zade, I would be worried for her and Dea. Now, I know that I said Addie's like a self-aware Bella Swan, but Zade, he's no vampire or Edward Cullen, but he could be basically the human version of him on steroids. And well, someone who works towards a twisted but albeit morally good purpose overall. This kind of mindset 100% kind of applies to Adeline too. Let's get started with the smut. Well, for most of you who have read with me before, I can honestly let you know that you will hear no complaining that there was not enough smut for me in this book because my oh my, there was definitely its fair share of smut. But first, let me set the scene with one quote from Zayd just as a preparatory glance of what's ahead because I get it. Sometimes dark romance is not for everyone. So here goes. Quote, all I want to do is break her, shatter her into pieces, and then arrange those pieces to fit against my own. I don't care if they don't fit. I'll fucking make them. End quote. That being said, let's talk about the elephant in the room, aka the gun scene. I thought it was pretty ballsy to make that a first sex scene. And honestly, I'm not going to lie, I still have very mixed feelings about it. I'm not ashamed to say I was shookest because one, I'm not a huge fan of causing trauma like that. Two, like I said before, this man is a huge felony red flag, and he is only getting away with this because he's hot. The only part I liked about the scene is that he licked the gun clean afterwards. Otherwise, nah. Let me know, was it a necessary scene? Because personally, I could have lived without it and had some better rough non-con sex than with an actual gun. Fortunately, though, the book does make up with it with some other rough scenes in this book. I think that the ones that stood out to me are the House of Mirrors and the woods slash car chase scene. Y'all know I'm already a sucker for rain and nature. I think these two stick out to me the most. I just really enjoyed the movie theater scene as well, but I think those two had some of the best action in regards to both partners. So let me explain. The House of Mirrors kind of gave us a different perspective on Zayd. We have always known him to be a protector of the innocent while it came down to human trafficking and stalking and doing those things to the predators. But now we kind of see it in action with Addie, and probably the closest thing to a love confession from Zayd that we are going to get in this book. Long story short, Zayd and Addie are conveniently alone in the House of Mirrors, a horror amusement. And of course, because, power logics and grown women need to blow off steam in some way. And then, but one of my favorite quotes was here. Quote, what you're seeing now is what I see every day, no matter how far I run, how hard I try to escape you. Quote, did you really try to escape Zayd? That's all I gotta ask. Did you? Did you? You literally rule your insta love on some basic chicken head, but moving on. Quote, you're everywhere I go. You're everything I see. Loving you is like being trapped in a house of mirrors, little mouse. And I've never felt so at home while being so lost inside you. End quote. All I'm going to say about this is that we as readers finally got to read about Zade's body and what he looks like besides those freaking haunting eyes. Zade is obviously hot with tattoos, physically all the attributes. And unfortunately, but fortunately, he's also the dom in this. I almost want to say that Haunting Adeline is basically insta love on Creepy Joe from the show You, but with like way hotter male and super intense sex scenes with Bella Swan Jr. in the mix. Does that make sense? I hope it does. But anyways, back to the House of Mirrors. I think I really enjoyed this scene because it felt almost like the most consensually satisfying scene, or at the least, it's the first of its kind that felt like that. I really enjoyed it for that aspect. Not that Addie was not satisfied before, because Ria's readers know she has orgasms and experiences in regards to Zayd, even the non con ones, which in itself is a fascinating subject, in my opinion. Zayd is a double edged sword of complications, except when it comes down to making sure that one, Addie's punished with pain, two, Addie climaxes at least one time with him doing the work or her sometimes. I think the reason that I enjoyed this much kind of so much in this book is because wordplay is key and actions that followed through with the words said, even if they're not pleasant to the vanilla or average romance reader. That being said, that wood scene where she tries to stop him from hooking up with her was hot. I don't care what you guys say. Zayd was like, "Bitch, be honest. There is no way in hell that you don't have a good time with me." And she was like, "Bet," before she runs in the woods. And I have no idea why I love this cat and mouse dynamic they have. He's always like, "I caught you, and now I gotta eat you." It must be like the love of the chase and challenge for me. But these woods in the rain too, you could feel that she doesn't want to give him the satisfaction, but even she can't resist what he does to her. And likewise, then they go at it. tree, branch, the ground, the rain, the car. It just makes it harder for me. On the last note, he does match creativity with Josh Shan in regards to like changing it up. And for that, Zay Meadows is only if I had to like rank my fictional boyfriends, Zayd Meadows is only like slightly higher than Josh Shan on my top list of like fictional husbands at the current moment. All right. But that's what I wanted to say about the plot before. But leave a comment down below. What did you guys think? Are you guys like an average, quote unquote, average romance reader, or are you guys more into dark romance? Let me know. I want to hear. All right. Plot wise, so one of the things that stood out to me other than Zayd is definitely this kind of solve the murder mystery in the background with Adeline's great grandmother Gigi, who also fell in love with her stalker. My question for you guys is how do you think the part of Frank was written? I mean, I personally thought it was kind of out of nowhere, especially since I knew very little interaction with Frank and Gigi alone when he was the best friend of her husband. I did find it fascinating about Gigi and Ronaldo, although I am ashamed that Miss Thing did not put in more detail about their encounters. Give me detail about Ronaldo and what he looked like outside of the top hat. But alas, I'm not sure. It was giving Scream 3-ish vibes about Frank. Like I said, I do enjoy a morally great character, and Mr. Zade is no exception to that, other than the fact that he is like this super powerful hacker. And, he chooses his morals basically. He does what he wants, and he kind of flips like societal expectations on itself by choosing what he deems is right and wrong. Um, but with Addie, I respected the fact that she was someone who is a super successful writer and she got like a whole ass mansion to herself. Other than her smart mouth, though, there was not a lot of baddie moments. Listen, I know this is a dark romance, but damn it, I need women to have their baddie moments too. So hunting Adeline better have some. I just gotta say, because there's nothing more invigorating than not only a successful woman, but a woman who could also hold her own in any given situation. Oh, although damn, did she have a smart mouth, even in the face of actual fucking danger in the form of Zayd. Other than that, like I said before, every Bella Swan is dependent on Edward Cullen kind of energy, where the two were like literal magnets that go everywhere together. I am interested to see where Hunting Adeline goes from here because sadly we do end on a cliffhanger. And this is where Adeline is kidnapped. And all I want to say is, okay, really? You're going to kidnap a literal successful writer and think the media is not going to notice? I think more than half the world, myself included, would notice if a writer, say like Stephanie Meyer, since we're on the topic of Twilight, would have disappeared. Just shady Hollywood vibes, shady. And Zayd, who the heck betrayed you? Was the one woman who helped the children? Because I want to be fucking flip if that was the case. Dea, who was like the betrayal? Like, don't spoil it, guys. But I'm like, I think other than the smut, that cliffhanger was the most intriguing part. Because I don't know. I want to see where it goes. I'm kind of nervous to see where it goes because this was already a dark romance. And if Addie is kidnapped, what I'm afraid of is the details of some things that go on in that kind of world. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping if I'm granted like a easy life that they have a quick reunion and it's nothing, too traumatizing. But we'll see. Those were like the main plots I wanted to say on Haunting Adeline. I think it was like mostly like the smut and the plot for me. That's basically it. Side characters had their moments, but either they were killed or they were beaten. Dea, I hope is good. The mother of Adeline is annoying. Adeline herself was like, yeah, like all right, I get it. Your usual person. Okay, moving on. But other than that, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It was all right read. I didn't really complain about it too much per se, but well, let me know what you guys ended up reviewing it. And if you guys are still here, thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a great rest of your week.